One night, a warrior named Mary leads a group of soldiers into battle. Flares light up the darkness, and a terrifying screech echoes through the air. The soldiers take their positions and scream a battle cry. Suddenly, enormous and horrifying creatures appear. They are called breakers. The team charges forward, fighting desperately to stay alive. 15 years after the first breaker attack, Mary's husband John is teaching their daughter Willa about the break. He explains that the breakers were always on Earth, hidden behind something called the Stitch. When humans melted the ice caps and destroyed forests, the Stitch weakened and opened, allowing the breakers to emerge. Willa is bored by the lesson and keeps interrupting. Finally, John entertains her by telling the legendary story of Kodiak. Suddenly, the building starts shaking. Military trucks arrive, announcing an emergency evacuation. Despite the chaos, Mary and John celebrate Willa's birthday. She gets a cake and 2 gifts, a knitted hat from her mother and a stuffed dog made by a neighbor who donates his earnings to war veterans. The moment is cut short when a soldier pounds on their door, ordering them to leave immediately. While Willa packs her things, John struggles due to old war injuries. Mary helps him, and they quietly talk. Years ago, Mary and her unit managed to close the Stitch, but the breakers never stopped coming. They check each other's scars, exchange loving words, and share a final kiss as Willa watches in tears. When the power suddenly goes out, Willa runs to her parents in fear. Mary leaves with her fellow soldiers. John and Willa ride with civilians. A soldier notices John's scars and worries he may have been infected. John promises that if he ever shows even one symptom, he will end his own life. As explosions erupt nearby, soldiers explain to the civilians how terrifying breaker infections are. Infected humans transform into monsters called hybrids. Soon after, Jana falls asleep. Gunshots and screams wake Willa. John tells her to stay quiet. The civilians listen in terror as soldiers fight and monsters roar outside. The guard jumps out of the truck to help. A breaker approaches the truck but moves on until a massive claw suddenly pierces the vehicle, killing a woman and dragging her away. The group escapes, searching for safety. John and Willa are blocked by a breaker. They run and hide under another vehicle with a mother and her child. A breaker grabs the child by the leg. The mother rushes out, screaming, trying to save her child. A breaker looks under the truck, then retreats as a soldier opens fire. After a brutal struggle, the soldier decapitates the monster with her sword. She checks on John and Willa. It's Mary. Willa is horrified as the breaker's body still twitches on the ground. Mary orders everyone off the road and into the forest where it's safer. Along the way, Willa sees dead bodies and wounded survivors. An old man becomes infected, and a soldier stays with him until his eyes bleed and veins turn black. Then she shoots him to end his suffering. In the forest, John notices blood on Mary's face, but it's human blood. She's not infected. Suddenly, more monsters are heard nearby. Mary tells Willa that she must stay behind and fight. John and Willa must continue without her. Willa cries, begging her mother not to leave, but Mary orders the civilians forward, and John is forced to drag Willa away as Mary and the soldiers charge into battle. By morning, John and Willa reach the shore. John reveals a small fishing boat he once used with Mary. Willa wants to bring other civilians, but John says the boat is too small. A man named Kevin confronts them, pulls a gun, and demands help. John lies, saying the boat has no gas and he must retrieve it from a car. Kevin forces him to go. At the car, Kevin keeps his gun trained on John. John pretends to reach for his keys, but pulls out a knife instead. Back at the shore, Willa panics, hearing monsters nearby. Eventually, John returns and says Kevin ran away. They escape alone. After hours at sea, they reach a remote island. A year passes. John and Willa live alone on the island. From a hill, Willa watches explosions on the mainland. She carefully takes bird eggs, leaving one behind. John worries about food, but Willa proudly shows him the eggs. Willa trains every day. She wants to be as strong as Kodiak. John challenges her, easily blocking her attacks and breaking her wooden sword. That night, John tells another Kodiak story about forging the perfect axe and killing the first breaker when the stitch cracked open. Thanks to Kodiak, humanity learned how to fight back. Willa jokingly asks if John is Kodiak. He laughs and says the stories exist to give people hope. They bury mines on the beach. John explains that breakers have no eyes and use hybrids to see and hear. He believes humans were seen as invaders of the breakers' world. Willa trains through an obstacle course, learning that breakers must be decapitated while hybrids need their brains destroyed. She slips but refuses to quit. One day, John finds wild strawberries. Willa tastes one for the first time. John tells her about his wedding cake with Mary, strawberries and cream. At a waterfall, Willa spots a girl on the beach. She stops her just in time from stepping on a mine. The girl's name is Rosie. Her family was killed by breakers at sea. Willa hides Rosie in a secret cave, shares food and water, and listens to her story. Rosie is injured and terrified. Later, Willa sees Mary in the woods. Mary hugs her and says they must leave John behind so Willa can fight. Suddenly, Mary's eyes bleed, and Willa wakes up. It was a nightmare. She rushes home. John almost shoots her, thinking she's an enemy. He explains the gun belonged to Kevin. Willa asks if all men are bad. John says no, anyone can become a hybrid. That night, Willa secretly brings food to Rosie. She shows her a book about the old world and tells her stories of Kodiak to give her hope. During training the next day, John collapses from weakness. Willa realizes he's been starving so she can eat. He gives her his old sword to show he trusts her. The next day, Willa returns to the cave, but Rosie is gone. Her supplies are destroyed. A figure moves in the dark. It's Rosie, but she has transformed into a hybrid. Rosie chases Willa. Willa falls. Just as the hybrid is about to kill her, John arrives and opens fire. The bullets fail. John fights with his sword and finally kills the hybrid by stabbing it in the head. Willa breaks down. John comforts her and says they must leave immediately. The hybrid likely alerted the breakers. They pack their belongings and head toward the boat. Resting briefly in the forest, Willa asks John for a story from before the war. John tells her that even back then there were rumors of villages being attacked, but no one cared, and that is how the world ended. Before the world collapsed, life in the city was joyful. People were happy. John and Mary were newly married, enjoying every moment together. Sudden explosions echoed in the distance. The breakers had arrived. John and Mary ran as fast as they could, trying to escape the chaos, but their path was blocked when they reached a broken fishing bridge with a deep drop below it. Willa carefully crossed first by walking along a fallen tree. When John tried to follow, something terrifying happened. The creature attacked John. He shouted for Willa to stay back, but she refused. Willa crossed the tree again and pulled the hybrid away from her father. Using everything she had learned, she swung her sword and cut off its head. But the fight wasn't over. Even without its head, the hybrid's body kept moving. It lunged again, smashing Willa backward onto the tree above the broken bridge. She struggled to hold on, unsure how long her strength would last. At the last second, John stepped down hard on the hybrid's head, crushing the brain completely. The body finally collapsed. Together, John and Willa crossed the broken bridge and made it safely to the other side. As they continued through the forest, John suddenly collapsed. Before Willa could help him up, another hybrid appeared, Rosie's father. Willa begged her father to run, but John was too weak to move, so Willa stood alone. She took a deep breath and remembered her training. When the hybrid attacked, she dodged its strike and swung her sword with perfect precision, slicing the top of its head open. The brain fell out, killing it instantly. Willa rushed back to John and helped him walk. They made it to the beach, where John finally told her the truth. He had been infected. John told Willa to leave alone on the boat. Willa broke down, crying and refusing to go. John comforted her, reminding her that she was strong, that she was a warrior just like her mother. With tears in her eyes, Willa cut the rope holding the boat, but it didn't move. She pushed with all her strength. The boat slid a little, but not enough to reach the water. As John's eyes began to bleed, Willa made a choice. She pulled out her sword. She would fight. At that exact moment, boats appeared on the water. Mary and her soldiers had arrived. On the hills behind them, the breakers began pouring down toward the beach. The family stood together, weapons ready, prepared for the final battle. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos like this. Thanks for watching.